Okay, is everyone ready? We'll get started. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Virginia City Council chambers. This is a regularly scheduled City Council meeting. Call this meeting to order. Today's date is Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. The time is 5:30 p.m. Pam, would you please take the roll call?
Johnson,
Here.
Motley,
Here.
Paulson,
Present.
Yondich,
Present.
Bachschneider,
Here.
Friedlieb,
Here.
Cuffey.
Here. Would everyone please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. We'll move to item 4 of the agenda, which is the public forum. This is an opportunity for anyone in the audience that I would to address the council this evening. Is there anyone in the city council chambers at this time that would like to address the council? Seeing none, move to item 5 on the agenda, which is the consent agenda. The following items will be enacted by one motion unless a councilor or a citizen of the city of Virginia requests that the item be considered separately. Item 5.1 is the approval and correction of the minutes of the regular meeting, which was held on February 25th, 2025. 5.2 is the adoption of Finance Resolution Number 25-005, the schedule of bills. Item 5.3 is approve the application for an exempt permit for the Minnesota Section Society for Mining, Metallurgy, and Exploration Incorporated for a raffle to be held on April 9th, 2025. Item 5.4 is approve the following travel requests. Item 5.5A is George Rendell III, Virginia Fire Department, to attend the Fire Department New York Search and Rescue Field Medicine Symposium, April 24th through the 27th, 2024, in New York City, New York, at a cost of $1,600, and this is a budgeted item in the 2025 Fire EMS budget. And then item 5.4B, Zach Yerzak from the Fire Department to attend the 2025 Gillette Children's APP Pediatric Specialty Conference on April 28th, 2025 in St. Paul, Minnesota at a cost of $207. These are the consent agenda items before the council today. Looking for council action.
I will move the consent agenda.
Councilor Johnson moves to approve the consent agenda. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Councilor Motley. Is there any further discussion? Councilor Paulson.
Mayor, could I pull 5.2, the schedule of bills, please?
Okay. Councilor Paulson requests to move to remove item 5.2 is the adoption of Finance Resolution Number 25-005, the schedule of bills for additional discussion. All those in favor of 5.1, 3, and 4 signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 5.2, Councilor Paulson.
Thank you, Mayor. On page 11 of our packet, under Department of Public Utilities, we have a charge for $19,479.26, and it's listed under the Public Safety Center. Is that our new, are we being charged utilities for the Public Safety Center currently? And is that just like, would that just be electricity, or is that or is that for the fire hall, the old existing one?
I will have to research that for you.
Okay, and I'm sorry I didn't get to ask this.
Yes.
I didn't have my email activated with my new computer, so, Britt, do you happen to know that at all?
I suspect it's construction related, so I suspect it's probably a pole we moved,
Okay,
but I will verify that. But that sounds like a dollar amount of a pole being relocated.
okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor Paulson. Item 5.2, the adopt the finance resolution number 25-005. That item number 11, looking for an approval of the finance resolution, including the request from Councilor Paulson.
I'll move to approve.
Councilor Paulson moves to approve the finance resolution. Is there support by Councilor Beyondich? Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 6, appearances. Item 6.1, Gabe Zika from the Iron Range Half Marathon regarding a donation of equipment Mr. Zika, thank you. Appreciate you coming for. Hope you're feeling better from last week. Please turn the light on to green and welcome to the council meeting.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, so Iron Range Half Marathon, success last year. We'd like to donate some funds to the Iron Trail Motors Event Center to improve the fitness center in the way of free weights, lacking right now. So we've approved that internally as a group and are looking for support from the city.
Okay. Is there an amount of money that's being
Yes, we approved $5,000.
$5,000? Very good. Thank you. And the request is for us to accept the donation of $5,000 to be directed to the Iron Trail Motors Event Center Fitness Center for purchase of free weights, and on behalf of the half marathon.
Correct.
Thank you. Councilor Beyondich. So moved. Councilor Beyondich moves to accept the donation. Is there support?
Support for discussion.
By Councilor Motley for discussion. Further discussion, Councilor Motley.
Can't thank you enough again, as always, for your hard work. It's awesome. We need more people like you, but proud to have met you a couple years ago being on the Parks and Rec Commission. Thanks for all you do, and we appreciate the donation. Thank you, Mayor.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Zika. Anything else you'd like to add for this next year's event?
Yes, actually, if I have two other items,
Certainly.
if possibly. One, we'd like to do a 5K in addition to the half marathon.
I'm sorry. I apologize. There was a motion and a second to approve.
Sorry.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry, Councilor Johnson.
Thank you.
Discussion.
Yes, discussion. I would ask that we make sure we put a small plaque near or on the equipment saying that it comes from you. I think it's important for the community to realize the impact of these events, and I think we can work with city staff to do that.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor of accepting the donation signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Councilor Johnson, we want that in the form of the motion for putting the plaque up.
I think the staff will take care
Very
of it.
good. Direct staff to do so. Thank you.
All right,
Mr.
yes.
Zika, thank you.
So the other two
I
items,
apologize.
first of all, we'd like to do the half marathon event on August 16th, 2025 this year. All the routing and the safety-related items are essentially identical as it relates to the city of Virginia. So we'd like your approval to proceed with planning that event again. One, and I have one other, I could maybe ask you both.
Certainly, it will do together. Thank you.
And then the other one is we'd like to plan a 5K event to go in addition to the half marathon, preferably on the Friday night before the half marathon, which would be all in town and with a route that we've already established that I can send to you guys for consideration. But if you're okay with the planning, we'll proceed and then send you the information as required.
Okay, the 5K to be conducted on August 15th and the half marathon on August 16th. Looking for a motion for us to approve that. I think we have offered in kind services and others in the past used the Iron Trail Warner's Event Center to start and finish line. So that all stays the same. So you're looking for some perspective there as well. So Councilor Beyondich.
So moved.
Councilor Beyondich moves to approve. Is there support?
Support for discussion.
Support by Councilor Motley for further discussion. Further discussion, Councilor Motley.
I just want to thank Essentia Health for being a key sponsor and helping to get this off and be a successful event. Thank you.
Yeah, and it was a very successful event, and thank you for being the continuing sponsor of this healthy recreational activity. Thank you. Okay, further discussion, Councilor Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. Usually when we get these requests, they're in writing, so I'm a little hesitant that we don't have specific details about timing and the 5K and what that looks like. I think it's great to move forward, but I'm cautious about the details and as we are very careful with where we're spending money, I would want to probably have a dollar amount before I can move forward with this specific request without it being in writing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Johnson. It has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
No.
Roll call, please, Pam, and then I'll have a couple comments quickly. Roll call, please.
Beyondich.
Aye.
Bachschnider.
Aye.
Friedlieb.
Aye.
Huffy.
Aye.
Johnson.
No.
Motley.
Yes.
Paulson.
A motion passes 6-1. And as we give this, and Councilor Johnson is correct, usually we have something in writing. So if we could provide something for staff and send that over to Pamela, our city clerk, and then Britt, and then she'll lay out all the documents for us, and then we'll be able to take a look at that. But to begin the planning for that event on those 2 days, we'll give the approval to do so.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zika. Okay, thank you. I'll move to item 7, the clinic lease. What do we have on anything, Noel? Direction from our attorney in that regard?
Yes, Mr. Lindsay informed me that right now they are looking for the right to extend the notice period for the renewal. So right now they have until the end of March, this March, to renew the lease, and they want to extend that renewal period. I believe it's 6 months to September.
Okay. Does that change any other aspect of our lease agreement?
Notice period.
Pardon?
It's just the notice period.
Just the notice period?
Just the notice period.
Okay, very good. So, and that's, he indicated that. Are we prepared to make a motion to move?
Question, it's in your packet. The
Yeah, it's in the packet.
agreement
So,
to change to the notice.
Counselor Paulson?
Can I ask what page in the packet, please?
$42.
Counselor Johnson?
I'm not comfortable with this. We've been asking for 3 years to have a discussion with Essentia. It's been on our agenda for 3 years. Coming to us a month before it's done is very frustrating. I don't understand why after 3 years need another 6 months. It makes zero sense to me. We've asked, you can go back in our agendas and you can see every other Tuesday for almost 3 years, it has been listed. We want to work on this, we want to work on this, we want to work on this. And now we're in this time frame where, well, we want to, I'm concerned that my understanding is that the only thing we're changing is the notification period from whatever it is, the end of this month, 6 months out to next, but that only gives you a month to leave. There's a lot of words on here for, hey, we just want 6 more months. I'm very concerned about stuff like this provided here and supersedes all prior agreements and understandings. And I guess my question for Essentia is, which prior agreement are we working off? When it comes to this, I think there's some confusion as to exactly what portions of the lease, which lease we're working off of, because there was an original lease from long time ago, and then when there was some restructuring, there was a second lease, but that was never signed. So I'm very confused as to what exactly we're dealing with here. So I'm not ready to vote on anything today.
We have representatives from Essentia Health here. I think Counselor Johnson asked a question. Mr. Stone, Sam Stone from Essentia Health, formally, would you turn the light to green, state your name for the record, and welcome to the City Council meeting, and maybe we can give some perspective on Counselor Johnson's question.
Thank you, Mayor, City Councilor, City Council, and representatives. My name is Sam Stone. I serve as the administrator for the Virginia Hospital, Vice President of Operations for the Arrowhead region. Just the quick and short of it is, this is the first I've heard for an extension to September. We've asked for an extension through June, so 3 months. And I think it's fair to say that we've been meeting myself, legal counsel from Essentia, city legal counsel, and the city administrator for at least a year, trying to get the details, the numbers, to get to a point where we could propose. It took a while, and I think that there's quite a bit you could get from your city leaders there as far as those discussions. The proposal was delivered, I think, in mid-January, but Obviously, we're coming up to a timeline here. The only thing we're asking is, and this was actually brought up initially by your counsel, by Brian Lindsay, to get a little more time here. This would be an option, and Essentia would like to meet you in the middle on that option and ask for a 3-month so we can extension to the notice so we can buy some time to talk this out.
Okay, thank you. If you just hold for a moment, Mr. Stone, just in case we have questions for you or the rest of the Essentia Health team. Councillor Paulson.
Thank you, Mayor. So after we went into closed session to discuss strategy, or I guess that's what they call it. Okay. This is something totally different than what we discussed. So we would, in my opinion, we would have to go back and have a discussion regarding this. This isn't, by putting this in our packet, doesn't give us time to have a discussion on it. So I wouldn't be comfortable voting through this until we actually are able to have a discussion on it.
Okay.
That's how I feel. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Councillor Freely.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to harken back to the fact that I was brought up by my father, Dr. Oscar Freely, who spent a good portion of his career working at the Virginia Hospital in the East Range Clinic. And in part, you know, he let me know the importance of the job that he did. And I'll reiterate what I mentioned the other day. The value of empty buildings to the city of Virginia is meaningless. The value to the buildings that we have up there are the services that are being provided by Essentia Health. And given the state of our community, and particularly somebody like myself, when the predominant number of people in this community are of my age, having an entity such as Essentia Health located right in the city of Virginia is very, very beneficial to not only this city, but the entire region. And so I'm more of the mind to do whatever we need to do to continue working and continue to have a partnership with Essentia Health to continue the provision of services that they've given to this city. I don't know why we're at this loggerheads, to be honest with you, given the services that they do provide. And it does frustrate me. I understand there is a value to those buildings. I don't deny that. But again, the value to me, and it can only be me, is the services that they provide. And if we don't have that availed to us and have to empty those buildings out and look elsewhere for some other service provider, I don't think it's worth our time and effort. But in any event, I do appreciate the relationship that we have with Essentia Health over all these years. And I would certainly be in favor of moving forward with the continuation of the conversation that we need to have to come to some resolution that will allow them to continue operating in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Freely. Councillor Buckschneider.
Thank you. As a point of order, I think we need a motion for discussion, so I will move the approval of what is proposed in the agenda packet.
Okay, Councillor Buckschneider moves to approve what's in the agenda packet, and is there support for that?
Support.
Support by Councillor Freely. Now we can
Point
have
of
some.
order.
Yes.
So sorry to bring this up, but I think we have discussed that there is a conflict. So I don't know that can you make the motion or not with a conflict? As that is her employer.
If I may.
One moment. Okay, let's tread water for a moment. Councillor Buckschneider, then we'll get something from our legal counsel. Councillor Buckschneider.
Thank you. So before we move forward with this vote, I want to take a moment to address a perceived conflict of interest. As many of you know, I am employed by Essentia Health, which is the healthcare organization involved in this lease agreement. I consulted with our city attorney when I first began my role as a counselor to ensure I am following proper protocol, and while there is no legal or ethical requirement for me to abstain from voting, it was advised that abstaining could be viewed as best practice to avoid a perception of bias. I take my role as a city councilor very seriously, and my commitment has always been and will always be to serve the best interests of the people of Virginia. My perspective on this vote is not influenced by my employment, but by what I genuinely believe is the right decision for our community. I live here and I care deeply about the future of this city, and I want to ensure we are making choices that will enhance the quality of life for all of our residents. I've reflected on this decision carefully, and I believe that my ability to serve the public interest is not compromised by my professional role. I do not work at the Essentia Health campus every day. I'm a work-from-home employee under the Human Resources Department with my leadership team not based out of Virginia. I'm choosing to vote tonight because I'm passionate about the impact this decision will have on our community. My vote is grounded in what I believe is fair, responsible, and in the best interest of our long-term for our city and its residents. I'm committed to being transparent and accountable to the people that I serve. If at any point the public has concerns about how I approach decisions like these, I welcome those conversations. But tonight, I am casting my vote with the conviction that I am doing what is right for the city of Virginia and the people who call it home. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Councilor Bob Schneider. Legal opinion, is this a conflict or not? Is she authorized to make this a motion moving forward?
It sounds like she has spoken to Mr. Lindsay on it, and I do agree that what Mr. Lindsay said, that it'd probably be best practice to have her abstain, but there's not necessarily a requirement to.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Paulson?
And we were told, I think, from Mr. Lindsay that it would be an abstention, and we talked extensively about the vote then being, if it was tie, what would happen? And we were told that it was. So I'm not trying to call anything into question. I can't vote on a steam conversion because I have a commercial building regarding steam converting. So that I would like, there needs to be a legal weigh-in, and there was a legal weigh-in last time, so I don't know what's changed.
One moment. I think I recall the best practice, but hang on one moment. Pam, could you have the minutes brought up from the last? Did you have something?
Yes, I was just going to confer with the attorney.
Okay.
Isn't it possible that the counselor can make the motion but abstain in the vote? Because we've had that happen previously.
Yeah, so I believe that would like honor both.
But it would, and it
The
would
non-bias, because if she abstains from actually voting on the
Right.
motion.
And so even if it's.
A motion can be made, but the best practice is to abstain on the vote.
Yeah, I believe so, yes.
Okay, thank you, Pam. Thank you, Noel. Councilor Paulson?
So does that clarify then the motion can be made, but it's an abstention in terms of voting?
Yes, I believe so, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Councilor Johnson? I'm sorry, please, are we done? Continue.
When I consulted, I was told a best practice, not a requirement. I was told that it would be fine. So I understand the concern, and I just want to reiterate that I consulted with Brian when I first started in my role as a counselor and confirmed that I am allowed to vote on this matter, and that's different from a best practice. If my employment presents a perceived conflict of interest, then it's fair to acknowledge that others in this room who have been previously employed by the organization or who have made public statements about it could also be viewed similarly. I'm voting tonight because I believe this decision is the best interest of what our community needs, and my position is based solely on what will benefit the city of Virginia. Thank you.
Thank you. So the best practice is to abstain, but not required. Is that on the vote? Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Councilor Johnson?
Thank you. I don't believe my question was actually answered. As I'm reading the recitals, the City Leasing Authority lesser entered agreement dated April 21st, 2025, recorded April 21st, 2005. B, as permitted in the 2005 lease, the sublessor, St. Mary's then, entered into a sublease dated April 1st, 2005. Sublease was amended by the First Amendment to the sublease agreement dated August 31st, 2016. And then the city assigned certain rights. Sublease dated April 2018, recorded in April 2018. So I'm curious to know, because one of those is not signed. There was an agreement, a sublease that was not signed, and that is why it costs the city about $10,000 a year, because Essentia is not currently paying the full amount of the refinanced bond. And so I'm curious to know exactly which one we're amending and how that fits.
If the,
Mr. Stone?
thank you, Mayor. If the council is amenable, I'd like to have our legal counsel from Essentia, Josh Moreau, is here to answer that question. Is that okay?
Yes, please, thank you. Again, you announce your name for the record, please, and welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, distinguished counselors. My name is Joshua Moreau. I'm the Assistant General Counsel for Essentia Health. Going to your question, Councilor Johnson, the 2005 lease was when the building was constructed. So there was the lease purchase agreement, which the city was in with the HRA. So that was at the time there was a construction defect. So going upwards into history, there was a first amendment signed when we purchased Iron Range Rehab. There was a item in the lease where we weren't allowed to do physical therapy. So we worked with Tom Buderak at the time to have that restriction removed. The sublease you were probably speaking of, if I'm thinking of the same one, was in 2018. There was a refinancing where there was going to be some cost savings along with the settlement proceeds and the insurance proceeds to fix the defect in the building. That was the 2018 sublease. There was a ask for Essentia to extend the lease to match the maturity of the bonds. Currently, the lease ends 5 years before the bonds would mature. At that point, with advice of counsel and others, we took a wait-and-see approach to see how the defect would be remedied, so that was why that was not signed. Working with Dan Maddy at the Freiberger Law Firm, as well as other bond counsel there. So this one that you see today would be just to that same 2005 sublease, which currently has the notice to extend, expiring at the end of March, allowing the parties to work together until June on the remedy.
So, but some of your asks are based solidly in that unsigned lease and things that we did or did not do, and therefore are key to this, even though it's not a signed lease. So I'm very confused as to why we're talking about something that actually technically was not signed, therefore it's not an agreement.
I defer to your counsel. I mean, we have the sublease that was fully executed by the partners. That was in the bond transcript. So that one has always been fully executed. I'm not sure what.
Then why have we not been getting $10,000 extra a year?
I'm not aware of the 10,000. Is there a 10,000 shortfall somewhere?
Yes, the 2018, the Second Amendment would have corrected that dollar amount. It didn't, since it was not signed, it does not correct that dollar amount.
I was counsel on that deal for the I don't know if that's me or you, for the 2018 refinance. We were never informed that that was part of an issue. In fact, we pledged to pay the same lease rate and continue it at the same amount, and the proceeded savings from that was actually going to go into the fund to continue to repair the building. So there actually should have been a savings.
But there was not a signed lease, correct?
We were never presented with a.
Yes. The Second Amendment was the not signed portion.
Oh, we were presented with the SNDA. That's when Dan Maddy, I worked with Dan Maddy, we received the SNDA to sign, and I was told that was the only document that Essentia was being required to sign. So I would be interested to see if Brian can share that with me.
I have all that information. I have all the emails and such too I can send to you.
Okay. And also too, if possible, I'd like to see, there's also some bond compliance certifications we need to see as well from the annual basis. It's supposed to be from the HRA and from your office, so perfect. Thank you.
Based on this information, I'd like to table this until our councils have the opportunity to communicate fully.
Support.
You moved by Councilor Johnson. He's making a table. Yes, Councilor Johnson has made a motion to table, which supersedes the motion that's currently on the floor. It's supported by Councilor Motley. We're not allowed to have discussion on the tabling motion. We can only vote. All those in favor of the tabling motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Roll call, please.
Bachschneider,
No.
Friedlieb,
No.
Coffey,
No.
Johnson,
Yes.
Motley,
Yes.
Paulson,
Aye.
Beyondich.
Aye.
4-3.
Motion fails 4-3. I'm sorry, motion passes 4-3. So the next step then is to, I think it would be prudent for a have a meeting and discuss this even further. We'll probably have to have a special meeting with regard to this. Bring Brian and other council in, to bring the lease in, have the opportunity to discuss it, take a look at it, and determine, what can be done. So this, when does this expire? March 30th?
Yes, it's the end of March this year.
Okay. So we should, if the council is amenable, to have a discussion, a special meeting before this March 30 date and figure this out. Councilor Paulson.
Thank you, Mayor. I would also like all the emails that you were referring to be sent over, and any documentation that needed to be signed that was not signed, anything to do with the bond that they are requiring or requesting. And then when we had met in closed session, I thought the last discussion that we had was that we were not taking an action. Am I incorrect in that statement?
I think that might have been a recommendation coming out, but it wasn't legally binding. We could make a motion if we want.
No,
moving
I
forward,
know, but
right?
that was that coming out of our closed session, that's what was discussed, is that when we voted on that and gave our city attorney a direction to move forward. When we came out of closed session, Britt, what was the motion?
Move forward with the strategy as discussed in the closed session regarding the clinic.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you. Any further comments that you might have? I guess my question is that we want to take a look at the documents and have a special meeting approved to do so. Figure out what could be done, what's legal, what's not. Look at the $10,000 issue. Get that ironed out, so we all have all the information moving forward. But at the same time, I'm just going to say that we need to try to figure this out. We need to work this out and have healthcare in Virginia, Minnesota. So the clinic has provided some significant and some extensive, some life-saving measures moving forward along with the hospital. So I think we have to continue moving forward. My opinion is that we have a call a special meeting and try to vet this out. Councilor Johnson?
Thank you, Mayor. I would ask that we not infer that healthcare is leaving the city of Virginia. I think that is it feels to me like we are being pressured. Healthcare is not leaving the city of Virginia. Essentia has $3.3 million to improve an emergency room for mental health that I utilized last week. That they're not going anywhere. They can't. There are other healthcare providers within steps. So I would ask that we please stop saying we need healthcare in Virginia. We have it. It's here. It's just one of many providers in the area. Thank you.
Yeah, well, let me just clarify for you, Councilor Johnson. That was a misrepresentation of what I said. What I said was we have to keep healthcare in Virginia, Minnesota. I'm not saying anybody's leaving. So, comments, Councilor Freely.
I would like to make a motion to reconvene this conversation at as early a date as possible so that we can get some resolution with regard to the issue that we're dealing with.
Support.
Even if that means setting a date.
And that's your motion?
To set a date to reconvene this conversation ASAP.
Okay. Be a big special meeting, yes. Reconvene a closed session, special meeting. That's your motion. Is there support for that? Is there support?
Support.
Support by Councilor Johnson. Further discussion? So do we set the date now? We should. Should set a date.
Can we do Tuesday at 8 a.m. before our regular committee of the whole meeting?
Pam?
Oh, thank you, Mayor. I think we need to check with Attorney Lindsay to make sure he's available.
So we could tentatively set it,
Office.
we could tentatively set it for Tuesday at, what time was you say, Councilor Johnson?
8 a.m.
8 a.m. And tentatively set it there. Would that be amenable to your motion to set it at 8 a.m. next Tuesday? And with the understanding, the availability of our legal counsel to be there as
No,
well.
Mr. Lindsay has a trial.
He's gone, he's gone that day? Okay. One moment, please. Councilor Bachschnider?
I was just going to say that we would have to move our regularly scheduled finance meeting, which I think would be fine, but if it's not going to work for Mr. Lindsay anyway, that's.
Well, let's get set a different date if we could. That's amazing. When is, do you know when Mr. Lindsay would not be in trial? Is there a date, time? I know that there are elected officials here that have employment obligations as well. So however we can accommodate to make sure we get this accomplished moving forward. And as you're looking at his schedule, anything to add, Mr. Stone?
Thank you, Mayor and Council, for the conversation. Yeah, I just wanted to reiterate Essentia's position. We've been working with city leaders for approximately a year, trying to get transparency on numbers so we could get a proposal in front of you. It did take some time. You've had that proposal for almost 2 months, as my understanding. I'm hoping it was disseminated. And we've just asked for more time to continue that conversation. So that's, I mean, just for clarity, if I can be as blunt as I can, I'm just hoping that you've had that proposal because that everybody's gotten that proposal because we've not heard any response on that. So thank you for the time.
Okay, you're welcome. Councilor Motley?
When did we have the closed door meeting where this council last spoke? A couple weeks ago? When was that? What was the date?
March 4th.
Okay, so March 4th. So you haven't heard anything from Attorney Lindsay? And this, I find that concerning.
Well, we have to set a meeting. Let's do that. Yeah, go ahead.
So this council chose what to do in a closed-door meeting and gave Brian Lindsay direction, and Essentia House is saying they've heard nothing, which to me is very disturbing, because that was a week ago, right, Brett? So I'm just kind of wondering where the lack of communication here is.
Mayor?
Pam?
So information that I have regarding Attorney Lindsay, he will not be available on the 18th or the 21st, and out of town the following week, and not returning until the 3rd of April.
Very convenient.
What, the 19th?
Pardon?
Did we do the
It would
19th?
either have to be the 19th or the 20th, I'm
19th.
guessing, unless you have other information.
I'm just on his calendar right now to see, but so between the 19th and the 20th?
19th or the 20th? Well, we have to see what the council's availability is. To Councilor Johnson?
I'd like to reiterate, this has been on our agenda for more than 3 years. And these discussions could have happened 3 years ago, and we could have gotten the proper information 3 years ago. It feels reminiscently just like a hospital discussion that we had to hurry up and hurry up and hurry up. I'm very uncomfortable with the tactic, and I'm pretty booked for I work on a day-by-day basis, and my openings are very limited. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Johnson. I'll wait if I make comment. Councilor Motley.
It does look like Brian Lindsay, thank you, Brett, did send an email on March 5th at 10 a.m. to Frank Modich in regards to what the council had kind of chatted about. So I guess there has been correspondence. Maybe you weren't aware, Sam, but there was. So I am mistaken in Brian not talking to Frank, so.
Well, to clarify from my perspective, and I'd be happy to give you any more details from my perspective, there's been no formal response on the proposal. And the only response we've gotten from the city on the extension of the notice was that there's no interest to extend it. So we asked for a counter, which I believe we're still waiting on.
Okay, so we've had all this time. We're here right now. We got to figure it out. So, we'll try to figure it out. We'll try to find a date that's available. Councilor Johnson?
Isn't, I guess this is maybe a legal question, isn't our answer the answer? Just because you want a counter proposal doesn't mean we need to give what we've given we're not interested in an extension. That's our answer. That you want a counter proposal, we've already said we're not interested in an extension.
We have a tabling motion. Thank you for that clarification. We can't discuss it anymore.
Mayor?
Yes.
So it's just setting the special meeting.
Set a special meeting.
That's the motion on the floor right now.
A motion and a support to set a special meeting. And you'll call Brian tomorrow and try to figure out a date whatever
Yes, I
is
will email
possible.
him right now.
So the motion on the floor is to set a special meeting. Is there any further discussion? Councilor Johnson?
I would be amenable to being an evening meeting because that would work with, I know, my work schedule for sure.
That's fine. Whatever works to accommodate, to get this accomplished is whether we have a morning, afternoon, or evening meeting. So thank you for that, Councilor Johnson. And you'll check on that with Brian Lindsay or the council of record. Thank you. Okay, all those in favor of the tabling motion signify, I'm sorry, do we have a tabling motion? Pardon? Done. So, read back the motion, please, so we're clear. Thank you.
Moved by Counselor Friedlieb, supported by Counselor Johnson, to set a special meeting for further discussion on the sublease with Essentia.
Okay, is there any further discussion on that motion? By hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries, thank you. Anything else from Essentia? We will actually be notify you as soon as possible with respect to the special meeting with respect to that, okay? Thank you very much. Okay, item 8.1, discussion items. Item 8.1 is approve the resolution authorizing the submittal of grant application to the LCCMR for the Southside Trail Connection in Silver Lake Park upgrade.
Moved.
Move to approve by Counselor Paulson. Is there support? By Counselor Motley or Counselor Johnson? Who's supporting it? Counselor Johnson. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Item 8.2, approve the second reading of the city ordinance 6.47 titled Cannabis.
I'll move the second reading.
Counselor Johnson moves to approve the second reading. Is there support?
Support.
By Counselor Bachschnider. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Item 8.3, approve the second reading of the city ordinance 11.13 titled Cannabis Zoning.
I will move the second reading.
Counselor Johnson moves to approve the second reading. Is there support?
Support.
By Counselor Bachschnider. Is there any further discussion? Counselor Paulson.
Thank you, Mayor. And I did have a discussion with our county commissioner, and just wanted to let people know that we were told that we were mirroring what the county did, and before we actually changed how we were doing this, we were not mirroring what the county did. And now the county put all growth, whether that's a meso growth or micro growth, into industrial locations. So now we are in fact mirrored to the county. But prior to that, from the recommendation on planning and zoning stating that we were following what the county did, that was not completely accurate. So I just wanted to set the record straight that now we are following what St. Louis County has on the books for growth in the cannabis area, and that is in industrial areas. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Counselor Paulson. It has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Item 8.4, adopt a resolution authorizing the Virginia Economic Development Authority, known as VITA, to purchase some tax forfeited land. And did you want to expound on that at all, Britt?
Yes, VITA has already passed this resolution, but they also need the city's permission to expend their funds to purchase the former Frank's and Norman's lots, which are now been demolished, just vacant lots on the corner of Chestnut and Second Avenue.
I will move the resolution.
Counselor Johnson moves to approve the resolution. Is there support?
Support.
By Counselor Bachschnider. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And last minute add-on, item 8.5, there's been a request to extend the RFP for animal control services to March 31st, 2025. Apparently, there was a late vendor that would like to do that, but it didn't have all the documents together, and meaning some other communities to do the same. So the request is to extend the RFP for animal control services to March 31st, 2025.
So moved.
Move to approve by Counselor Motley. Is there support?
Support.
By Counselor Paulson. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 9, committee reports. Item 9.1, the committee of the whole meeting that was held on March 4th, 2025. We'll turn this portion of our city council meeting over to our city administrator, Britt C. Bennis. Britt?
Thank you. On March 4th, 2025, we had our committee of the whole meeting. We had an appearance from Matt Reed, our engineer of record from SCH, regarding the construction projects upcoming in the city of Virginia. At this meeting, he was presenting the professional services agreement with SCH for the Rotary Park Sanitary Sewer and 7th Street North Storm Sewer Project. It was moved and supported to approve the resolution approving the supplemental professional services agreement with SCH for the Rotary Park Sanitary Sewer and 7th Street North Storm Sewer Project in the total amount of $35,600.
So moved. Support.
Move to approve by Counselor Friedlieb and supported by Counselor Motley. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Reed also gave an update on the designation that he was requesting for no parking, as the state aid requirements require that if we don't have enough width, we can't have parking along 14th Avenue South from 20th Street South to Southern Drive and from 14th Avenue South to this, I'm sorry, from Southern Drive from Southern Drive from 14th Avenue South to the westerly city limits and 14th Avenue South from 20th Street South to Southern Drive.
Moved.
Move to approve by Counselor Paulson. Is there support? Support. By Counselor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
It was moved and supported to approve the resolution approving the agreement with NTS for the construction materials retesting that is required for the 2024 alley project.
So moved.
I'll move to approve by Counselor Friedlieb. Is there support?
Support.
By Counselor Motley. Is there any further discussion? Counselor Johnson.
We'll be abstaining. This is my alley.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? With one abstention. Motion passes. Thank you.
Mr. Sean Lewis from Kraus Anderson was present to discuss the Public Safety Center project and how it was going. Overall, everything is going well. They're working on interior work right now. We had a tour on March 6th and again one today for staff and council that wanted to attend. The first change order Mr. Lewis brought forward was change order number 28 for the door sills at the patio for an increase in the contract to Kraus Anderson for $780.71.
So moved.
Support.
Move to approve by Counselor Paulson. Is there support?
Support.
By Counselor Johnson. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
It was moved and supported to approve change order request number 29 for the fire-rated door hardware for an increase of $866.99.
Moved.
Moved to approve by Counselor Motley and supported by Counselor Paulson, Counselor Beyondis, excuse me. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Been supported to approve the change order request number 30 for the unit heater at an increase of $1,874.46.
Moved to approve by Counselor Paulson, supported by Counselor Freelieb. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Been supported to approve the change order number 31 for heat trace tape in an increase of $5,692.42.
So moved.
Support.
Moved to approve by Counselor Johnson and supported by Counselor Motley. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Supported to approve change order request number 32 for the stove casework changes with a reduction of $434.52.
So moved.
Moved to approve by Counselor Beyondich. Is there support?
Support.
By Counselor Motley. Further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
It was moved and supported to approve change order request number 33 for the addition of welder and storage outlets at the increase of $9,771.49.
So moved.
Moved to approve by Counselor Paulson. Is there support? By Counselor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Moved and supported to approve the change order number 34 for the range cornice metal wall partition for an increase of $17,495.89.
So moved.
Moved to approve by Counselor Motley, and is there support?
Support.
Support by Counselor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
It was moved and supported to approve change order request number 35 for the addition of a Plima vent in the fifth apparatus bay for an increase of $28,776.32.
So moved.
Moved to approve by Counselor Johnson. Is there support?
Support.
By Counselor Motley. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
John Lewis did reassure the council that the project is still in budget and it is still expected to be completed by the end of July with occupancy by the end of September. It was really great to see today where some of these change orders were going to occur. So it was interesting for them to point that out. So it was a great tour. We are excited.
Yes. Thank you.
Yep. We did have the travel policy that we made some changes for in your packet. I do believe I have a copy of the updated travel policy in there.
Counselor Paulson.
Were we just going to revisit that? Were we just reviewing it and then we're going to continue discussion on that?
Correct.
Okay, thank
If you
you.
have any further changes, let me know when you take a look at it. It was moved and supported to approve the external posting for open repair crew foreman position in the Public Works Department.
So moved.
Move to approve by Counselor Motley and supported by Counselor Johnson. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Moved and supported to approve the internal appointment of Stephanie Smith to the fire marshal position for the Virginia Fire Department.
So moved.
Move to approve by Counselor Johnson. Is there support? By Counselor Paulson for discussion. Further discussion, Counselor Paulson.
Mayor, on page 132 in the packet, it gives the name of the hire and then full-time fire marshal with a start date on or after March 17th, 2025. Sherry, is this person currently on a leave of absence?
Correct.
And have we hired people that are on a leave of absence in the past?
Depends on how the contract is.
And this is IA,
This is the fire, IAFF,
FF.
International Firefighters.
and so have we done that in the past with IAFF?
I do not know. I'd have to look it up, but I've already spoke with Britt on this, and I think that she wouldn't be able to actually start in this position until she was released to return to work.
And do we know what that return to work date is?
No, I don't have that yet.
Okay, so then I would not be voting for that date to be on there on or after March 17th. I would not want to be paying an employee until they return back to work. So if that could be amended in the resolution, that would be great. If not, I wouldn't be supportive. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion and support on the floor for that? For the resolution? Okay. Yes. Counselor Johnson, in light of Counselor Paulson's,
It does say with a start date on or after, so if she is not able to come back to work on March 17th, that would be after, and I'm comfortable with the resolution as it is.
thank you. Does that satisfy you, Counselor Paulson?
I'll withdraw my support because I don't want it on or after. Like, I don't want that employee to start being paid until that employee returns to work and has a clearance returning to work, if that's what is going on. Thank you.
Okay, so Counselor Paulson withdraws her motion of support, but there is a motion to move forward with the hiring by Counselor Johnson, and the motion, is there support for Counselor Johnson's motion?
Support.
Support by Counselor Freely. Is there any further discussion? Counselor Motley.
I would have to agree with Counselor Paulson on this one. I'd like to know a return date. So I will also not be supporting this in its current form. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Counselor Motley. Any other discussion? Been moved and supported. Is all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Roll call, please.
Friedlieb? Cuffey?
No.
Johnson?
Aye.
Motley?
No.
Paulson?
No.
Beyondich?
No.
Bachschnider?
No.
Motion fails 5-2. Thank you.
Mayor,
Yes, Counselor Paulson.
may I make a motion changing the resolution? Okay, so I would make a motion to just change with a start date. Sherry, how would you like that worded? When the employee is has returned from leave of absence?
Not just an employee return from work. I would actually consult with your legal on this.
Okay, how would I word that? If the employee is currently out on a leave of absence.
Probably say at a date, once the worker has returned from the leave of absence. I think that would be sufficient to cover your basis of they're on a leave of absence, but once they come back.
And are able to work? Okay. Okay, so I think that would be my motion, but I also have one other question, so that I would move that forward.
Counselor Paulson moves to approve, to amend the resolution approving the appointment of a fire marshal for the Virginia Fire Department upon returning to work, authorized to return to work. Does that make sense? Make sense?
Yes, upon from returning from work from a leave of absence and able to.
Okay, and available to perform work duties.
Support.
Moved by Counselor Paulson, supported by Counselor Motley. Is there any further discussion? Counselor Paulson.
Thank you, Mayor. I was just looking back in our emails over this, and since we did we change the job description? Did we see that? Is this the revised in our email, Britt? I don't know what date the email was from.
Was this discussed at the Personnel Committee?
Not the revised. I'm wondering what the revision is. I don't think we had a revised discussion of the revised job description. And my question would be, in that revision, number 8, it must be a Minnesota State Fire Inspector 1 certified and qualified to approve fire sprinkler plans? Is the employee have all of the qualifications that are necessary? And that we do not have to pay the employee to do any of these certifications?
We'll have to pay for training, because there is training that goes along yearly, that they'll annual training they have to do. So that is part of the job, part of what we do.
So will we be paying for any certificates or licensure?
That's a great question. We can ask the fire chief, but I don't.
Because it was their request to not go external, to change it back to internal, then they must have changed the job description, which we did not talk about at the personnel committee.
We'll have to talk to the chiefs.
So I'm not sure how we want to handle this situation. Do we want to just wait? Okay, then I will withdraw the motion, period. Thank you.
Counselor Paulson withdraws her motion. For the resolution to hire. So what stands with the previous motion? That failed, correct?
Correct.
And that stands as read. Okay, thank you. Next item, please.
Mayor, if I may.
Yes, please, Counselor Bachschnider.
I'll make the motion of what was previously discussed to move forward with that language. Thank you.
Read back the motion that Counselor Bachschnider is proposing before we go to a second.
To revise the hiring resolution for the fire marshal by adding language when the employee is able to return to work without restrictions.
Okay, moved by Counselor Bachschnider. Is there support?
Support.
By Counselor Freely. Further discussion? It still doesn't answer the job description issue that that personnel was to vet out. So it has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Counselor Motley?
I again stand with Counselor Paulson on this one and would like to see that information. I don't know how you can change a job description without going to personnel to discuss it. Is that what you guys normally do? I'm not on the personnel committee. Okay. I would like to see that information. It's not that I'm for this candidate, but once I receive more information, thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Motley. Any further discussion? It's been moved and supported. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
No. Roll call, please.
Huffy.
No.
Johnson.
Aye.
Motley.
No.
Paulson.
No.
Beyondich.
No.
Bachschnider.
Aye.
Friedli. 4-3.
Or 3. I'd like to see the job description if it's changed, if it's, I mean, okay, thank you. Next item, please.
Next item was a motion to approve the resolution to hire the single-role paramedic candidate Joseph Puglisa for the Virginia Fire Department pending successful background checks.
So moved.
Move to approve by Counselor Motley. Is there support?
Support.
By Counselor Johnson. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
It was moved and supported to approve the resolution to hire the dual-role firefighter EMT candidate Thomas Skrolke for the Virginia Fire Department pending successful background check.
So moved.
Move to approve by Counselor Johnson. Is there support?
Support.
By Counselor Motley. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
It was moved and supported to approve moving forward with the proposed community service officer position for the police department.
So moved.
Move to approve by Counselor Beyondich and supported by Counselor Freely. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Moved and supported to approve to continue the phased retirement agreement in the community development department with a timeline to review the phased retirement agreement on or before December 31st, 2025.
So moved.
Move to approve by Counselor Johnson. Is there support?
Support.
By Counselor Motley. Is there any further discussion? Counselor Paulson.
Mayor, could we also add that the time cards need to be turned in to, would be what, to Sherry or to Britt? Time
that's
cards
fine.
need to be submitted.
Me would be great.
Okay. If we could add that, because I don't think that's currently being done. So I don't know if that's a second motion that needs to be made.
It probably should be a second motion.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
I would like to move on the phase retirement agreement that timesheets must be submitted prior to getting paid and to Britt.
A motion by Counselor Paulson to require time cards be submitted for review before payment is made. Is there support?
Support.
By Counselor Bachschnider. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All those in favor signify
Excuse
by
me,
saying aye. I'm sorry, Counselor Johnson, I apologize.
Thank you. I'm curious to know why this is coming up in a public meeting. It sounds like a employee or a supervisory issue and not a council issue. So I'm curious to know why it's coming up.
Counselor Paulson, your motion.
Thank you, Mayor. I think it was a MAPE, but now it's not a MAPE, so I don't know that there's whatever the supervision is, but there's time cards not being turned in. So I just want to make sure that as we keep track of we were discussing the budget within not only the planning development budget, but also in the finance department. So as we were discussing that, it's important as we do these phased retirements, as we have another one coming up, that we have documented when the employee, because it's a phased retirement now, it's not necessarily a MAPE or an AFSCME employee, so we need it documented, the hours that were worked, and have those hours and time cards submitted.
Counselor Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. I will not be supporting this, as I think this is an internal management issue and not a council issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
A roll call, please, Pam.
Johnson.
No.
Motley.
Yes.
Paulson.
Aye.
Beyondich.
Aye.
Bachschnider.
Aye.
Friedlieb.
Aye.
Cuffey.
Aye. Motion passes 6-1. Thank you. Next item, please.
It was moved and supported to approve the city department participation in Rockridge Job Shadow Week, the week of March 24th to the 28th, 2025.
So moved.
Support.
Moved to approve by Counselor Johnson and supported by Counselor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? Counselor Johnson.
I would volunteer to, if a child or student wanted to shadow a counselor on a Tuesday day or Tuesday evening, I think that would be an evening meeting, but I would gladly take a person around and show them what it's like to be a counselor in the city of Virginia.
Okay, thank you. Moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
It was moved and supported to approve the appointment of Hannah Davidson Teff as the Commissioner to the Human Rights Commission.
So moved.
Support.
Moved to approve by Counselor Friedlieb and supported by Counselor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
It was moved and supported to approve the purchase of Lucas chest compression systems for the Virginia Fire Department, utilizing the state of Minnesota EMS funds obtained in 2024.
So moved.
Support.
Moved to approve by Counselor Paulson and supported by Counselor Motley. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
A discussion regarding our city permit fees. At the committee of the whole, it was approved to increase the fees as presented by staff. It was moved and supported to approve the recommended increase in permit fees as presented by the staff.
So moved.
Support.
A move to approve by Counselor Beyondich, supported by Counselor Johnson. Further discussion, Counselor Johnson.
Thank you. Pam, when will these fees become active and billable?
We actually have to change the ordinance, so it's going to be probably, we're hoping around July 1.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, Pam, didn't mean to jump in.
Thank you.
Had this discussion with our attorney about it, so we'll have to change the ordinance.
Well, we're approving the increases, but we have to change the ordinance before they're implemented. So it's moved and supported for the increase in the fee structure for the city permits. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
We did have a brief discussion regarding the solid waste enterprise fund and agreed to move it to the next finance meeting to discuss the financials of the solid waste enterprise fund. I don't need a motion, that was just a point of notice. We had further discussion regarding the request to remove the no parking signs along 6th Avenue North. It was moved and supported to authorize staff to remove the current no parking signs along 6th Avenue North between 9th Street North and 11th Street North, with staff to work with the Rotary Apartments on placement of a loading zone signage.
So move.
Thank you. Moved by Counselor Bachschnider. Is there support by Counselor Beyondich? Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Moved and supported to approve the resolution approving the purchase of property known as 90-180-440 with funds from the 2024 contingency fund.
So moved.
Moved to approve by Counselor Bachschnider, supported by Counselor Johnson. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
We have a motion to direct staff to move forward with obtaining a municipal cannabis license.
So move.
Support.
Moved by Counselor Bachschnider, supported by Counselor Johnson. Is there any further discussion? I voted at the committee home meeting to move this forward for discussion purposes. The general public has some more awareness of at our South Dakota City Council meeting. I have made some inquiries with respect to the municipal license. The timeline is associated with licensing. It comes from the lottery, the Office of Cannabis Management. Some additional changes are currently being made to that office. I don't think it's necessary, and I'm going to change my vote to a no on the municipal cannabis license at this time. We can always reapply in the event that we figure out when they finalize everything. And then if we decide we want to move forward, we can certainly do it if there's any other changes that may be awarded with respect to how the municipal license moves forward. So looking for a motion to direct staff. There is a motion on the floor and a support for that. Thank you. Moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. I'm sorry, no.
No.
No. Excuse me. Roll call, please, Pam.
Motley.
No.
Paulson.
No.
Beyondich.
No.
Bachschnider.
Aye.
Friedlieb.
Aye.
Huffy.
No.
Johnson.
Aye.
Motion fails 4-3. Thank you. Anything else come before the?
No further items. Okay.
Okay, Pam, did you have something?
Yes.
Thank you.
Attorney Lindsay did get back to me. He can meet on Monday, the 17th, starting at 3, if that works. 3:30.
Can I, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Councilor Motley.
Counselor Johnson had requested an evening meeting, as do I, if it's going to not be on a Tuesday, as I'll be working. So if it could be 5 or later, would that be?
He has a
Or-
meeting at 6:30. He has to go to.
We do 5 o'clock or
5 o'clock?
5 o'clock if the council's amenable on Monday?
That was my question, is do we think it's enough time?
Mountain Iron at 6:30.
Well, let's make it for 5 o'clock, and if we need more time, then we have to do something else. I mean, you know, we're going to extend this out how long? Counselor Bachschnider.
I would like it to be Monday at 5 PM if that works for everyone, and then we can discuss at the committee of the whole meeting on Tuesday if needed further. Thank you.
Is everybody amenable on Monday at 5 PM? We don't need a motion for that, do we?
No,
Okay.
I will send out a note.
Thank you. Monday at 5 PM. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, item 10, commission liaison reports. Any counselor have a commission liaison report they'd like to give this evening? Seeing none, move on to number 11, department head reports. I'll start from left to right. Britt, anything more to report?
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Nothing from council? Britt, anything from you? Nothing? Okay, Pam, anything? Finance Director, HR Director Sherry Erickson?
No.
Okay, Jenny Boumier, or nothing, or Community Development? Okay, thank you. Any other department head reports? Okay, see. Jody Grabanowski, our Library Director. Jody, welcome.
I have fun stuff, so let's see. We have building block free play tomorrow after school. Our genealogist will be back on site at the library at 4 o'clock on Thursday. And we have family story time on Friday. The following week, on the 19th, the big one is bring a t-shirt, and you can make a no-sew t-shirt bag in the afternoon. If you don't have a t-shirt, we have some on hand. Book club is next week. The other one that's coming up that will be fun is we are having a stuffed animal hospital on the 27th. And so some of our friends and staff will help you repair your stuffies. So that's some of the fun stuff. A reminder, there is an age-friendly survey to take. It's about 15 minutes. I have paper copies. You can do it online. This is for St. Louis County. Anybody over the age of 18 takes about 15 minutes. They're gathering this information. If you would like the paper one, let me know. If you would like the QR code, that works also. And then we have a new partnership that I just wanted to make people aware of. So the Great Lakes Aquarium reached out to us, and so we now will check out to our patrons. They can check out a pass to go to the aquarium, and it's for up to 5 people for a week. It just takes care, you'll have to pay for parking, but it will get you in there. So this is a partnership that is started last week. So you can check out, if you're headed to Duluth and want to go see the aquarium, and for all ages, you just have to stop by the library. You need your library card. It's very similar to how we check out the Minnesota State Park passes, which we are in partnership with the state of Minnesota. That goes through June of 2025. I have reapplied, so hopefully that will continue. So just some fun things that you can check out that are not necessarily books or ebooks or videos. So that's all I have for you right now. Councilor Johnson I'll let him give an update about sleeping on the roof. So if you have any questions, I can answer them. All right, thank you.
Well, thank you, Jody. Okay, we'll go to item 12, council reports. Does any councilor have a report they'd like to give this evening? Councilor Johnson?
Thank you, Mayor. I have a couple. Unfortunately, we only read about 3,000 hours, so what I'll probably end up doing is going on the roof and waving to them in the morning. So there will be no sleeping on the roof this year, but next year we will be working a little harder at pre-planning and getting the notice out there to our folks. The other thing I wanted to say, of course, is go Wolverines. There are multiple teams, hockey, and I'm not even going to try to tell you which ones, and state girls, along with other folks at state this week. There is no school for Wolverine Rockridge tomorrow and Thursday, and if everything worked out right, the lights on City Hall should be black, green, and white for the Wolverines for the next few days to support them and wish them luck and enjoy their life experience at state. Thank you.
Yeah, go Wolverine girls basketball state champion. Let's go. Okay, thank you. Any other council reports to give? I have one announcement. I will not be at the next city council meeting on March the 25th. Vice Mayor Paulson will have to convene the meeting and run the meeting. Thank you for that. I'll be out of the state for my last work commitment of the year outside the state of Minnesota. And so I'll be gone for about a week. So thank you. Anything else to come before the council this evening? Seeing none, we'll stand adjourned to our next council meeting, which is Tuesday, March 25th, 2025, at 5:30 p.m. in the council chambers. And I might be late for that meeting at 5 o'clock on Monday because I have a planning Zoom meeting at 4 o'clock for my work commitment. So if I hopefully will be done by then, but I will be here as soon as I can at 5 o'clock. If I can't make it, it'll be soon thereafter. So we stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Good night.